how to find answers for true, false, not given, or yes, no, not given questions, which are one of the most popular ones in IELTS reading. You can follow these steps, and some other parts will be explained in other video clips. The first thing that you need to keep in mind is that you are going to look for sign words or keywords, as most of the IELTS instructors they persist on following and finding sign words. Um, I'm not of that opinion, but I will explain in other videos. In this one, I'm going just to focus mostly on keywords and stuff like. But first, what are sign words, which are easily spotted in a text when you are reading? We can say names such as people's names, places names, and stuff that you can easily find them in the text. And after that, you are going to read that part in order to answer the question. Or some numbers or dates. As I said, I will talk about sign words later, but just keep in mind that sign words are not always helpful, and they are like actually a double-edged sword. They can also be very, let's say, it would be at the cost of losing some marks sometimes. So it is better not just focus on sign words. In my strategies for reading, I mostly look for keywords in the questions and how they are related, not just the keywords. So I believe that the words which are written to make a sentence, they are like some blocks. They are bricks that you can make a wall. And as a result, it means that they are related to each other. It doesn't mean that you make a sentence without having any relationship between those words. One of these connections and relationship can be comparison, how the words are used to show a comparison. So as all of you know, when we say comparison, we can use comparative adjectives, superlative adjectives. We can use structures such as much, plus a noun as, stuff like that, or we can use rather than and the other things. An example for comparison is Cambridge IELTS Book 7, page 25. As you can see, the example is taken from book 7, which is actually an authenticated source for IELTS. Water use per person is higher in the industrial world than it was in ancient Rome. So the first thing we notice here is a comparison, but now we must say, so what is compared with what? As we are looking here, industrial world and ancient Rome, they are compared. But what is compared for these two words? Water, that is the water use. So we have three key words or key expressions: water, industrial world, and ancient Rome. How the connection between them is? The connection is using comparison. So it is the sentence showing the question. But in the text, definitely we are not going to find the exact words, just for those words which are not going to be paraphrased or they have no synonyms. We can say water, it has no synonyms. So what can we find in the passage is that the sentence, 9 systems supply the occupant of Rome with as much water as is provided in many parts of the industrial world today. So as we can see, the comparison is between occupant of Rome and industrial world today. How are they compared? Using as much as. And of course, as I said, water. Water is going to be a sign of comparison also. And it is here as much water as. So as you can see, occupant Rome, as much water as industrial world. And it shows that this sentence is used as a question is not true, or it is false, or it is no. Because when we say yes, no, when we say true, false. So if it is true, false, we say false. If it is yes, no, we say it is no. because that one said higher, this one say as much as. The first rule, look for comparison. When you find a comparison, look for the words which are compared, and after that, try to find those words, not exactly the same words, because they can be paraphrased or they can be used as synonyms. And after that, find if the comparison exists there or not. If there is no comparison between water, industrial world, and ancient Rome, it means that the idea is not completely mentioned. That is why we say it is not given. So when we say not given, it means that the whole idea is not completely mentioned. One of the easiest way is that here we have comparison, but in the context or in the text or in the passage, we cannot find a comparison between them. Another example, Another example that can help us to find the relation between words or how they are connected is cause and effect in the question. For cause, we have some linkers that we can use: because, since, for, owing to the fact that, because of, due to, owing to, thanks to, as a result of, and stuff like. These types of linkers are going to show us the cause and effect relationship between the words used in a sentence. We cannot either use effect link these types of linkers like so, therefore, thus, hence, as a result, consequently, they also show effect. So we can say cause, effect. So they can be used interchangeably. So we cannot say when it says because, and we can find all the words which are synonyms to this linker as a cause. No, they can be used as a effect, but they can change the structure of a sentence. That is one of the ways that they can also use in writing for paraphrasing. Again, an example from Cambridge's book 7, page 25 says, feeding increasing population is possible due primarily to improve irrigation systems. So it was the question on page 25. It says due to is one of the linkers used as a cause. But when we look at the text, actually, in the text or in the passage, we will find that food production has kept pace with soaring populations, mainly because of the expansion of artificial irrigation system. So we see that there is a kind of cause and effect relationship. In the question, there is a cause and effect relationship between feeding and improved irrigation system. It means that because of improved irrigation systems, there is feeding. So feeding, irrigation system, they are connected through a linker that shows cause and effect, which is two. So what is important for us to look for? We need to look for words like feeding and irrigation systems because we found a relation between these two expressions. And we need to find these two expressions first. And after that, find out if they are connected using cause and effect relation or not. So when we say in the text we will find that food production has kept pace with soaring populations mainly because of the expansion of artificial irrigation systems. So instead of feeding, we are finding food production. And instead of irrigation system, again here we have the exact expression irrigation system. So food production and irrigation system. Instead of improved, here's the expansion. So half of work is done. It means that we found two key words or two key expressions that we need them, food production and irrigation system. But we need to find the connection between them, if there is any cause and effect connection or not. If there is, so it is true or false. If there is no connection between them, it means half of the idea of the sentence is not mentioned. So that is at that time not given. So food production because of artificial irrigation systems. So we have all the criteria we need, all the expressions plus the relationship between them. And they are exactly the same as the sentence which is used as a question. So it is true, or we say it is yes. Again, I mentioned when we are looking for something that make us to feel doubtful if it is not given or not, it means that we have some keywords and the relationship between these keywords. If the relationship between these keywords is not mentioned, so definitely it is not given. Or if one of the expressions or words which are used as keywords is not found in the text in one sentence or at most in two sentences, again, it means that it is not given. Not given means the idea or half of the idea of the sentence is not mentioned, not the whole idea. When we say the whole idea is mentioned, it is true or false. But if you cannot find any of the idea, it doesn't mean it is not given. It means that you are reading a place that doesn't include any keywords from the question, and you are in a wrong place. You must spot the keywords somewhere else. We can also show cause and effect relationship using some verbs. These verbs likely to result in, cause, and make. Of course, there are some other verbs that can be used like them. So an example again from book 7, I mean Cambridge book IELTS 7, page 25 says, modern technologies have led to a reduction in domestic water consumption. So we spotted the cause and effect used just by looking at the word have led to. Now we must say, okay, this is the relation between what words, what, led to what. So we see that modern technologies led to reduction in consumption. So we must find modern technologies and the idea of reduction in consumption. I repeat, the idea of reduction in water consumption, not just look for one word as reduction or a synonym for reduction. We look for an idea. It is very important when you're doing true or false questions, not just look for one word, look for the idea of that word or expression. So modern technologies and reduction. And what we find in the text or passage is the amount of water consumed per person has actually decreased thanks to a range of new technologies. So we found amount of water consumption decreased. One of the ideas that we need here, amount of water consumption decreased as a synonym for reduction. But as I said, we are not just looking for a synonym for it. We are looking for the idea of consumption in water decreased. How? Thanks to a range of new technologies. New technologies, which is a synonymous word for modern technologies. And thanks to was actually one of the linkers showing cause and effect. And as you see here in the question, a verb is used to show cause and effect, but what we find in the text is not only a verb, it is actually a linker. So it means that when you're looking for ideas, especially for cause and effect, it can give you linkers of cause, like because, since, but in the text, you can find effect, like so, therefore, or in the text, you can find verbs showing or conveying same meaning. I will explain more about true, false, and not given questions in other videos. Please don't forget to subscribe if you like.